Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today's session is a contemplation on two aspects of Dharma called Pravritti Dharma and Nivritti Dharma. Dva Vimavatha Panthanau Yatra Vedav Pratisthitaha Pravritti Lakshano Dharmo Nivritischa Vibhashitaha. The Vedas have charted two paths for the benefit of mankind, the Pravritti and Nivritti Marga. Sukhabhyudayikanchaiva Naishreyisikamevacha Pravrittam cha Nivrittam cha Dvividham Karma Vaidikam. Pravritti Marga offers worldly sukhas and prosperity, and Nivritti Marga is for Paramarthika Hita, spiritual growth. Though this broad classification is made in the scriptures, the Pravritti Marga is said to offer worldly pleasures and prosperity. It must not be taken for leading a materialistic life. In the very opening of the Gita Bhashyam, Adi Shankaracharya himself clearly says, Saha Bhagavan Srishtvedam Jagat Tasya cha sthitim Chikirshuhu Maricyadin Akre Srishtva Prajapatin प्रवृत्तिलक्षणं धर्मं ग्राहयामास वेदोक्तम् ततोऽन्यांश्च सनकसनन्दनादीन् उत्पाद्य निवृत्तिलक्षणं धर्मं ज्ञानवैराग्यलक्षणं ग्राहयामास. To sustain his creation, God showed the path of Pravritti Dharma as followed by sages like Marichi, Atri, Angirasa and others. Nivritti is the path of renunciation and the Gnana Marga that the Sanat Kumaras exemplified. Those upholding Pravritti Marga have been created to lead life to propagate the race, but still they lead disciplined lives and realize the self by discharging duties in detached and selfless manner. Ihacha va kamyam pravrittam karma kirtyate Nishkamam Gnanapurvam tu Nivrittam Upadishyate. Actions done with the desire to live a prosperous life in this world, the samsarika karmas, are called pravritti karmas. Actions performed with nishkamya bhava, meaning without any desire or expectations, with the awareness of the impermanence of all things here and the eternity of the Atma, are called nivritti karmas. It is shown that karma by itself cannot lead to moksha, but in the process of doing one's karma, one attains chitta shuddhi and gains gnana, by which he is likely to attain moksha. Pravritti Lakshana Dharma and Nivritti Lakshana Dharma have to be looked upon as various stages of self-development. Pravritti Lakshano Dharmo Gruhastheshu Vidhiyate. Pravritti Marga is the path prescribed for householders. People who want to take little steps towards purifying their being and move towards moksha. They follow the fourfold approach of dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Dharma being the conduct of life, artha being fruit of such a conduct, kama are the positive and legitimate desires that can be fulfilled, and moksha is the little steps towards liberation. जाताश्च त्रिषु लोकेषु ह्यानुलोम्येन मानवाः ते देवानां ऋषीणां च पितॄणां ऋणिनस्तथा. Humans are connected to the three worlds, Devaloka, Bhuloka and Pitruloka, as they birth through the channel of these three worlds and are hence indebted to the gods, ancestral deities and the rishis. ऋषीणां ब्रह्मचर्येण पितॄणां तु सुतैस्तथा ऋणं यज्ञेन देवानां शोधयित्वा अनृणी भवेत्. By entering the brahmacharya ashrama and gaining vidya, humans clear the runa or debt towards rishis. By entering the grihastha ashrama and giving birth to worthy children, they clear the runa towards ancestors. And by performing worships, rituals and yajnas, they clear the rinas towards devatas. Thus, every being who takes the human form at some point or other has to clear these rinas. So, Pravritti Marga essentially means living life based on ashrama dharma. Even illumined sages have been grihasthas to propagate and bring down worthy souls. There is plenty of misconception about Pravritti Marga being the path of worldly aims, worldly goals, and the path of materialism. This is not true. Pravritti Marga is part of the Rishi Parampara. Our Sabhyata is full of Rishi Santatis, illumined children born to Rishi Dampatis. Kardama Rishi was an illumined sage who manifested his Tejas as his 9 daughters, and finally Narayana himself entered the womb of Kardama's wife Devahuti as Kapila Rishi, the avatara who propagated Sankhya Yoga. Even those who are born with complete dispassion have already settled their rinas in their previous births. There is no way to bypass or hop any of these steps in total transformation. Thus, those who wish to attain self realization must be on one of these two paths. The Pravritti Marga is slow, steady, and gently pushes a person to someday become pure and eligible for Atma Vidya. Those of us living in the samsara sooner or later become aware of its impermanence, its uncertainty, and begin to feel that it lacks in giving inner peace and permanent bliss. We feel various degrees of dispassion, vairagya, and then slowly the mind bends inwards and starts seeking eternal bliss. सहस्राङ्कुरशाखात्मफलपल्लवशालिनः अस्य संसारवृक्षस्य मनोमूलमिदं स्थितम्. Our mana, the mind complex, is the root cause for this samsara vriksha, the tree of life which has 1,000 branches and fresh shoots upon which hangs the fruit of Atma. मन एव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः बन्धाय विषयासक्तं मुक्तैर्निर्विषयं स्मृतम्. Mana is the karana for our sansarika bandhana, bondages. The mana is the karana for our liberation too. When mana is drawn to samsara, it is caught in bondage. When the mana withdraws from samsara, it leads to liberation. Those who do not feel even the slightest dispassion in their heart and are totally immersed in the plane of gratification, scriptures prescribe various karmas for them so that they do not completely go astray and get caught in the samsara chakra and reach lower births. Through these karmas and dharmacharanas, their chitta becomes cleaner and purer. Those who feel some amount of dispassion and vairagya, the scriptures encourage upasana and bhakti so that they can come closer in contact with the Atma Tattva. And those who have complete dispassion, total vairagya, the scriptures give them Jnana Marga, which directly leads to moksha. The Vedas are broadly classified into Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. The Karma Kanda part of the Vedas prescribe so many sacrifices, austerities, and life practices whose reward is gratification, sukha, or swarga. This fruit associated with dharmacharana, as prescribed in the Vedas, also adds to the misconception that pravritti marga is to propagate gratifications and indulgences, either in this world as sukha or in the other world like swarga as swarga sukha. The scriptures prescribe these rewards to motivate and encourage people to walk a dharmic path and slowly draw them towards self-realization. But this path of pravritti is like a stream that has to someday connect to the bigger stream of nivritti, which directly leads to the ocean. Like the river Yamuna can only fall into Ganga, and it is Ganga that directly unites with the ocean. Pravritti Marga directly does not give liberation. It gives opportunity to attain Chitta Shuddhi and meet the pure Ganges. In the Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful shloka that says, Falashrutiriyam nrinam nashreyo rochanam param shreyo vivakshaya proktam yatha bhaishajya rochanam. Those statements of scriptures promising rewards and gratification do not prescribe the ultimate good, but are like enticements for executing beneficial duties for purifying the chitta, like promises of a candy spoken to induce a child to take beneficial medicine. It is actually the medicine that is beneficial and not the candy. Yet, the candy played a very important role. If people living the life of a householder completely get carried away into sensual gratifications, then the purpose of getting a human life itself is defeated. Our Sabhyata has a different view about the path of unchecked gratification, materialism. In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna himself says, Pravrittincha nivrittincha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those possessing an asuric nature, demonic nature, do not comprehend what actions are proper and what are improper. Hence, they possess neither purity nor good conduct and not even truthfulness. In the current modern world, the most prevalent view is everything is relative. People always talk about your truth and my truth, as if truth is a personal preference. People are failing to note that truth is beyond person's individual boundaries. It is absolute and it is unquestionably established in Dharma. Here, Bhagavan Krishna is referring to people who are either confused with what is right and wrong and do not follow either of the paths, their lives become demonic. Or he is talking about people whose natural tendency itself is adharmic. A classic example from the Mahabharata is Duryodhana. Duryodhana says, Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi, janamya dharmam nachame nivrittihi. I very well know what is dharma, but I have no flow in that direction. I know what is sin, what is adharma, yet I am unable to restrain myself from it. You see, Shubha Shubhabhyam Margabhyam Vahanti Vasana Sarit Paurushena Prayatnena Yojaniya Shubhe Pathi. The river of vasanas, the river of desires, the river of unchecked desires is a wild flowing river. It flows in both good and bad directions. Out of our intense efforts, we must change the high ground such that the river flows only in the good direction, leading to self realization. Just like a fly has the tendency to sit upon dirt and also the tendency to sit upon Mahaprasad, the samsari has the tendency to engage in both dharma and adharma. Through knowledge, self correction, training, and practice, one must make sure to walk the path of dharma. Thus, pravritti lakshano dharmah prajarthibhirudahritah yathoktam rachashartula natu tanmokshakankshinam. Those who have the desire for offsprings, etc., are fit to follow the pravritti marga. But this path directly does not result in moksha. Hence, it is not prescribed for a mumukshu. Mumukshu is a person who has complete detachment from worldly things and wishes to attain the ultimate liberation. Now, moving on to the nivritti dharma for a mumukshu. सर्वभूतदयाधर्मो न चैकग्रामवासिता आशापाशविमोक्षश्च शस्यते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिणाम्. One wishing only for moksha must first have compassion and unconditional love towards all. A mumukshu must never stay in one place, should be a wanderer, a parivrajaka. This is to indicate their total dispassion. And a mumukshu must have ended all the desires resulting in bondages. These are the duties of a mumukshu. Adhyatmagati chitto yastanmanaha tatparayanaha yukto yogam pratisada pratisankhyanamenvacha. A mumukshu must constantly meditate upon the Atma Tattva and must be firmly established in it. He must be constantly engaged in yoga abhyasa and tattva vichara. वृक्षमूलपरो नित्यं शून्यागारनिवेशनः नदीपुलिनशायी च नदीतीररतिश्चयः विमुक्तः सर्वसङ्गेषु स्नेहबन्धेषु च द्विजः आत्मन्येवात्मनो भावं समासज्जेत वै द्विजः. Mumukshu is rid of all the desires and bondings. Such a person must choose to live a secluded life, like living under the trees, living in a modest hut, or on the banks of pious rivers, and within their heart caves must be in constant communion with the Divine, the Paramatma. This becomes the path of the Supreme Swan, the path of the Paramahamsa. अतः परतरं नास्ति नावरं न तिरोग्रतः अदुःखम् असुखं सौम्यम् अजरामराव्ययम्. The fruit of Atmajnana obtained through this Paramahamsa Dharma, through this Nivritti Marga, is the supreme one. Through this Atmajnana, the absolute truth is realized. The Paramatma Swarupa, which is gentle, devoid of pleasure and pain, and it is eternal and immortal, becomes clear. It is important that we recognize where we stand on our paths, based on the karmic life and our Vairagya quotient. Here are a few beautiful verses to summarize the various paths. Yatha pipilika mandamandam vrikshagragam phalam चिरेणाप्नोति कर्मोपदेशश्चापि तथा स्मृतः. Ants take small steps and climb the tree from its base to reach the fruit on top of the tree. A samsari does dharmacharana, purification practices, and slowly moves towards liberation by cultivating virtues and vairagya. Through karma yoga, chitta shuddhi is obtained, and at this stage a certain eligibility to move towards Atmavidya also comes. Yatha kapischa shakhayam shakhamullangya yatnatah phalam prapnoti dharmasya chopadeshas tatha priye. A monkey hops from branch to branch and then reaches the fruit. Even after Vairagya birth, and there is a yearning for realization, many internal and external hurdles have to be crossed. Total purification has to be attained, and all the chitta vikshepas, even the smallest distractions within, have to be removed. Residues have to be washed. Only then chitta becomes vishuddha. Through bhakti and upasana, total purity is attained. यथा वियद्गमः शीघ्रं फल एव निषीदति तथा ज्ञानोपदेशश्च कथितः कुलनायिके. A bird takes a direct flight to the fruit. Such is the power of Nivritti Marga, Gnanopadesha. Only in the pure and dispassionate heart such a power to fly exists. And before ending this session, let us summarize this contemplation in this way. Both the paths of Pravritti and Nivritti have been given to us to move towards liberation. Pravritti Marga is not the path of materialism and indulgence. Through Pravritti, we must connect to the stream of Nivritti, like Yamuna meets the Ganga. We must recognize if we are the ant or the monkey or the bird, and then put our efforts accordingly, because one common power that drives all of them, all the three, is the power to make efforts. To end this session, let it be known that the benevolent Divine Mother is so kind in giving powers that in one lifetime she can make the ant grow wings and fly. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.